Mississippi, the 114th edition of the Egg Bowl. And on top of all the ceremony around this rivalry game, it is senior night for the Bulldogs. Number 14, Mississippi State, hosting their rivals, the Rebels of Ole Miss. Always a very spirited, intense rivalry. Tonight's going to be no different. This was literally 5 minutes after the players were allowed out onto the field. Some pushing, some shoving. The two sides had to be separated. Never got too serious, but just a taste, I think, of what we're in store for here tonight. The players, not much good said on either side, and you can extend that to the fans outside the stadium before the game.
Hotty-toddy makes no sense.
Can't think of anything nice.
Their attitude.
We don't get along good. Never have.
Trash.
I'm glad I didn't go to school there.
They think they're better than us when we're 14 in the country.
What doesn't rankle me about Ole Miss?
I hate the cowbells. They can't handle the cowbell.
I hate Ole Miss.
Oh boy, yeah, that's what we got here tonight. And welcome inside the broadcast booth, Dave Fleming alongside Greg McElroy. Happy Thanksgiving. Of course, if you're here for the good spirit of the holiday, probably come to the wrong place, because that is not the feel here inside this stadium. Greg, you know SEC football, you know great rivalries in college football. This one ranks up there near the top.
Yeah, and this rivalry in the state of Mississippi, naturally a football-crazed state. There's no NFL team here, by the way, and these two fan bases live with this rivalry for the next 52 weeks, and they'll have to live with the circumstances of tonight's result as well for the next 365 days. You pick a side at birth, and these two sides certainly don't have a lot of love lost today because of what's happened in the last few years.
And I think that's the point. This is always an intense game, but tonight does feel even a little more so because of the chaos of the last couple seasons around the Ole Miss program, the ties between these two programs. As we welcome in Laura Rutledge. Laura, that has made this particular Egg Bowl as vicious as any ever.
Yeah, Dave, that's right. And Ole Miss is still waiting to find out their fate from the NCAA, as those sanctions have not come down yet. Ross Bjork, the AD, telling me that he's expecting them anywhere from early next week to maybe 2 weeks from now. Of course, Ole Miss has imposed a bowl ban on themselves, so tonight is their final game. But you mentioned this Egg Bowl being different from any other, and that's true. This is why Mississippi State player Leo Lewis is the prime witness for the NCAA's case against Ole Miss. He was recruited by Ole Miss, and he has been granted immunity if he tells the truth, according to the NCAA. Now, this is a kid that grew up in the state of Mississippi. He knows players on both sides very well, and the fans for Ole Miss are not too happy with the fact that their rival school could factor into the sanctions that could be coming down for them very soon, Dave.
Yeah, no kidding, Laura. Thanks very much for that. And I bet we haven't even talked about Hugh Freeze, his forced resignation, the connection between the two programs in that regard. There is just so much that has built up over the last couple of years between these two programs, maybe unprecedented in the history of this sport. Meanwhile, on the field, Greg, this rivalry took an ugly turn for Ole Miss in football terms last year, because Nick Fitzgerald, the quarterback of Mississippi State, just ran wild against the Rebels.
He's an absolute star. When he's playing his best football, he's as good as anybody in the country with his legs. You're going to see Mississippi State try to get to the perimeter, because that's where Nick Fitzgerald excels. At 6'5", 230 pounds. He's a long strider, and in the open field, you're not going to catch him. This is an area, though, that has really progressed, throwing into tight windows and doing so consistently. He always had the ability to do so. It just wasn't always going to happen 99% of the time. Now, he's working with pretty banged up wide receiver group, so he's going to have to be very accurate tonight with his passing game.
Well, and what we tell you, as Ole Miss comes on the field already, here we go. My goodness, we could be in for a heck of a Thanksgiving night in Starkville, because there may never have been a setup for a rivalry game quite like this. I mean, those skirmishes and arguments are extending all the way down the field. We promise we will have some more of this, and hopefully it doesn't get too serious tonight. The local paper leading into this one today called this the most venomous rivalry in all of sports. And I'm not sure they were wrong. Bulldogs won the toss. They defer. Logan Cook is going to kick off. Jalen Jones, very dangerous return man, standing deep. And he is not going to have a returnable kick. That goes out of the end zone for a touchback. And the Ole Miss offense will take the field for the first time. This is the final game of the year, the self-imposed postseason ban this year for the Rebels with everything that's gone on. This is their bowl game, and they treated it like that this week.
They did. And they've really approached every game this regular season as though it was their final shot. But obviously, this is the exclamation point. Knowing how last season went, Matt Luke, the interim head coach, said they're going to leave no stone unturned in preparation and try to pour it all out tonight here on the field.
Shea Patterson, the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year, very talented kid, out for the year. Jordan Tommo, the junior, they're going to throw it on first down, going deep down the field. It is knocked away. Intended for DeMarcus Lodge.
That gives you any indication of what Ole Miss is trying to do tonight. They want to throw the ball down the field. This is an explosive offense with as good a wide receiver group as you'll see across the country, trying to hit Lodge deep to take the top off early.
Now let's repeat that. Arguably the most talented group of wide receivers in college football on this Ole Miss team. Another pass play to Amu, right across the middle, and a perfect delivery. Brown past midfield, well into Bulldogs territory, cuts it back, and a huge gain for the Starkville native.
Great throw by Tommo. A.J. Brown, one of the most explosive receivers in the SEC, isolated on the post route off play action, and him in space is bad news for the Bulldogs.
Maybe the best wide receiver in the SEC. There are a lot of good ones. Here's Wilkins up the middle, and that's going to be an Ole Miss touchdown. What a start for the visitors. 58 on the pass play, 22 on the ground. If you had any questions about a team without much to play for, you could argue without anything other than pride to play for, I would think that first drive might answer those questions. Ole Miss has come to play tonight. Took them 39 seconds. Extra point is up and good. Luke told us his team would be ready to go. His team would play their hearts out. And A.J. Brown, how fitting that it was he who made that big play in the first drive, because he has become such a big part, an interesting part of this rivalry. Grew up here in Starkville, and after he committed to Ole Miss said, well, you know, Dan Mullen at Mississippi State, they really didn't recruit me that hard, so that's why I went up north to Oxford. That rubbed a lot of people around here the wrong way. Of course, he's turned into a superstar player. And he is a game captain, a non-senior game captain for this Egg Bowl. Kickoff from Ole Miss, and here come the Bulldogs. They will take the field for the first time. And their quarterback, we talked about him right out of the chute, Nick Fitzgerald, who has become such a weapon. He was born in Germany. His dad was serving in the Air Force there. Grew up, though, mostly in the state of Georgia. Had an uncle who played for Georgia. Really loved the Bulldogs. Those Bulldogs wanted Georgia to recruit him as a quarterback. They didn't. Almost nobody did. He comes here to Starkville. He has been a record setter for Mississippi State and Dan Mullen. And you talked about the evolution of his game. He's always been a talented runner. The passing game has come along.
It really has. And knowing the injuries they've had at wide receiver, he's really had to shoulder the load. And he has the Bulldogs in a great spot to potentially win their 9th game of the season.
Egg Bowl last year against Ole Miss. All-time single game Mississippi State rushing record. He was fabulous. He'll keep it on the first play from scrimmage tonight and get a nice game close to a first down. He got about 8. 9th year here in Starkville. Dan Mullen, who has climbed the list in terms of all-time wins, the record books. This is the best stretch of football in the history of this program. One of the best coaches, I think you can't argue it, in the country.
It's amazing what he's been able to build. A program with minimal tradition. He has certainly done a tremendous job identifying talent.
Fitzgerald hands off. Harris Williams bounces off one would-be tackler and gets a Mississippi State first down.
Talking about identifying talent, so much of this offense is forced onto the quarterback's shoulders. Of course, he had Dak Prescott. No one recruited Dak. No one recruited Nick Fitzgerald. Only 2 scholarship offers coming out of high school. But look at the players that they've developed into.
I think there are very few coaches who know exactly what they're looking for the way that Dan Mullen does. Fitzgerald throws and short hops that one incomplete. Intended for Reggie Todd. His throwing has gotten better. One question for tonight's game. The wide receivers are so decimated by injury for Mississippi State. A lot of the best targets are not playing or not fully healthy.
And knowing how last year's game went, you know that Ole Miss is going to sell out against the run. They're going to have 8, 7 guys in the box all the time. So he's going to have to make some throws in tight coverage because these receivers might not be able to consistently separate.
Will be a huge question. Even loading the box, can Ole Miss somehow slow down this running attack? Going to throw on second down. The pressure came. That one was delivered nicely for a first down. And that's the big target, Jordan Thomas.
These are the windows that Nick Fitzgerald's going to have to consistently hit. Finding big Jordan Thomas, 280-pound target against tight coverage man-to-man.
You saw Fitzgerald talking to the official down there, maybe arguing that that could have been called as a targeting play. Fitzgerald across midfield.
They're trying to affect the quarterback, and the quickest way to affect the quarterback is to hit him.
He's talking right away, isn't he?
Yeah, you can see Breland Speaks come in. Fitzgerald saying he hit me in the helmet. I don't think that was targeting. That was not forcible contact to the head or neck area.
Keep an eye on that because we know the feelings on both sides coming into this Egg Bowl game. 2nd and 5. Fitzgerald hands off. Williams finds a hole. Williams first down and more inside the 40. Mississippi State's never had 2 1,000-yard rushers in the same season. I think tonight we'll see that happen. Both Williams and Fitzgerald are very close.
Now they're knocking on the door. Fitzgerald could become the SEC leader in rushing yards in a season. If he goes over 98 yards today, he will pass Cam Newton what he accomplished in 2010.
Yeah, no quarterback has ever run for as many as Cam. Fitzgerald's got a chance to surpass that. That throw into coverage. Incomplete. Intended for Jamal Couch. It is interesting. Mississippi State's trying to be balanced on offense on this first drive after Ole Miss went down the field so quickly and got the first touchdown of this game.
And they're going to have to be methodical, try to establish the ground attack. But as you can see, Ole Miss wants to play man-to-man and really challenge these wide receivers on the perimeter.
In the shotgun, Fitzgerald throwing again. Williams could not handle it. Incomplete.
Mississippi State is one of the better third down teams in the country, converting 47%. Of course, that's in the top 8. But they avoid situations like this, 3rd and long. This could be, too, knowing the area of the field, it could be 4-down territory. So you might not have to get it all right here.
3rd and 10. Ole Miss showing some pressure. We'll see if they bring pressure. Now looking like they're backing off, and they do. Just a 3-man rush. Fitzgerald down the right sideline. It is intercepted. And the return out across the 20 from Miles Hartsfield. Ole Miss comes up with a turnover. Mississippi State, Fitzgerald still maybe showing some effects of that hit earlier in the drive. Give up the touchdown, and now the first time they have it, they turn it over. Well, Miles Hartsfield comes up with the ball. What a great start on the road for Ole Miss, the 114th Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving night.
We've already seen Ole Miss stretch the field successfully in this game, and A.J. Brown talking to his quarterback, Tommo, saying, hey, keep throwing it our way. We're going to be able to consistently get open. He said they can't cover us. Also, I'm told that Matt Luke's pregame speech was incredible. His final line being, go out there and play like this is a night you'll never forget.
I think A.J. Brown is planning on doing just that. Tommo has some athleticism of his own. Tommo first down to the 45-yard line. The junior from Pearl City, Hawaii. A long way from home.
He's a good north-south runner. Shea Patterson, a little bit more like Johnny Manziel when he dances around. Tommo wants to go north and south right there. A nice pickup.
Play fake on first down. He'll go deep toward Brown, but incomplete.
You can see the adjustment that's been made by Mississippi State. Brown has two defenders in his direction just about every single snap over the last few. You can take a look at Todd Grantham, one of the best defensive coordinators in college football. What a job he's done this year with this Bulldog defense. They're aggressive, they're fast, and they're physical, trying to pay it off tonight.
Most of the same players. Dramatic improvement for Mississippi State's D. That pass completed along the right sideline, and the tackle just short of the first down marker. DeMarcus Lodge with the catch.
I don't think you can overlook the impact that Grantham's made. I mean, he's going to blitz you. Maybe sometimes a little too much, but he has really challenged this defense. They tackle well, they hold up well in the trenches, and they're really committed to the system that he tries to employ.
Now look at the numeric improvement from last year to this year. If you use total defense, 110th last year, 9th in college football this year. Third and short, handoff, and some powerful running. I think that extra effort got the first down. Eric Swinney with a very strong run to get that couple of yards.
It's a great run by Sweeney. J.T. Gray's right there. Boom. Usually the low man wins. J.T. Gray was a low man, and still didn't win. It's a credit to the power of the big sophomore running back.
He deserved that high five. They do get the play snap, so this will be the final play of the first quarter. Perhaps fittingly, it's A.J. Brown with another catch, his fourth of the quarter for Ole Miss. We played 15 minutes here in Starkville. Ole Miss with the 7-0 lead. This is the SEC on ESPN on Thanksgiving night in Starkville. Thursday night college football, a part of the Jiffy Lube rivalry series. And Ole Miss out to an early lead. They scored within seconds at the start of this game, 7-0. That has held up as we start the second quarter here. Davis Wade with the Rebels on the move in Mississippi State territory. 2nd and 5 from the 40. Jordan Ta'amu, their junior quarterback, faked the pass, now looking to run. Made a couple Bulldogs miss. Came up a couple yards short. It'll be third down.
This could be 4-down territory for Ole Miss. Obviously right here, kind of on the fringe. They've really dominated field position for a majority of the night. Knowing the way their defense is played, this could be an opportunity to have 2 downs to get it.
On 3rd down and 2, throwing the ball, and they hit Brown, but a great open field tackle. He stopped short J.T. Gray.
Brown's got to be more aware. Understand that you have just a couple yards to get. You have to get at least the yards to gain. He has it initially, but as he's brought back with the football, he's tackled just short.
That forces a punt. Huge difference there. And the punt is blocked. Maybe nobody in college football does this better than Mississippi State. They get another one. And guess who? The big guy, Jeffrey Simmons.
Watch big number 94 attack this wall and put that big left hand out like Dikembe Mutombo and say, no, sir. What a huge play by this defense. And what a turn of events. About to go for it on 4th and short. False start, your punt, then it's blocked. Now your offense is on the field for Mississippi State with great field position.
That's Simmons' 3rd block kick. Sort of a fake run and a throw to nobody, intercepted. Nobody on Mississippi State at least. Here come the Rebels with the return to midfield and more. Here's a penalty flag at the end of the play, but that is not going to negate the turnover. C.J. Moore was playing deep safety, playing center field basically. Ball came right to him. Thought the block punt was going to be a huge play. One play later, it feels a lot less important.
After the play is over, personal foul. They hit out of bounds by number 74, the passing team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Even worse for Mississippi State, the penalty on top of it.
Just a crazy sequence. They're trying to hit a big vertical route down the seam, and you watch the safety. He just plays over the top of it. Keaton Thompson locking in, even though his receiver did not get great separation, airmails it over the top, resulting in an easy interception for C.J. Moore. And then you add a little salt in the wound with a shove out of bounds. A huge turn of events right there as Mississippi State tried to go for the jugular after the sudden change in the momentum they got from the blocked punt.
And if you're just tuning in, you missed, thankfully, a gruesome injury from the starter. Keaton Thompson, the true freshman backup, in playing. A big call. Wilkins trying to bounce it, cannot get away. Another tackle for loss. This time Mark McLaurin, the safety.
Great job by McLaurin, triggering as soon as the ball was handed and getting into the backfield to contain the runner. Right here, Tommo and this Ole Miss offense trying to get back on track. They've been playing behind the sticks a little bit. Mississippi State, for the most part, has done a decent job on first down.
2nd and 13. Tommo in the pocket toward the end zone. It is incomplete. DeMarcus Lodge, it looked to me like he got his hands up and had a chance. Could not catch it.
Pretty well thrown ball by Tommo. Lodge slowed down just a little bit. I think he lost the football and found it late. He went up as though the ball was going to be the inside. It was to the outside. He's got to make that catch for his quarterback in the back of the end zone.
7-0 Ole Miss in field goal range on 3rd and 13. Tommo throws short. The tight end catches, but not nearly enough. Dawson Knox. Presumably the field goal team will come on the field. Jerry Wunderlich, who has been over his career one of the better kickers in the country, has tied tonight the Ole Miss all-time scoring record. This would be, for the record, all to himself.
He's been a little banged up this year. He pulled his plant leg hamstring against Cal early and hasn't necessarily been 100% healthy until now.
Good snap and hold. This one is right down the middle. The interception and the big return plus the penalty gave Ole Miss great field position. They capitalized for 3 more points, and that is the most field goals made, the most points in Ole Miss football history. 10-0 Rebels here in the Egg Bowl. This whole game, though, the injury to Fitzgerald is looming over everything. And Ole Miss, give them credit, they've come out ready to play. Their final game of the year, they won't be going to the postseason no matter what happens. A short kickoff this time. Let's see if it's returnable. Outside the 20, 25, still going to the 30, and pretty good field position. Dedrick Thomas with the return. Now, if you're just with us, we're not going to show this, at least in gruesome fashion. If you saw it one time, that was plenty enough for all time. But that's the play where Fitzgerald injures his presumably ankle, lower leg. Took a long time to get him ready to get on the cart. Showed some incredible toughness there at the end. And Fitzgerald will be out now and for a while. We're thinking about Nick Fitzgerald, that's for sure, having a great junior season. Now Thompson, the freshman quarterback, a handoff right up the middle. That's Kylan Hill, talented running back. He got a first down on his first carry of the night. Let's go down to Laura.
Yeah, guys, Keaton Thompson trying to learn on the fly down here. Upset after the interception he threw. Coaches telling him to move on. Also telling him, hey, go encourage your teammates. He said, okay, I'll go over there and do that. Greg, he doesn't even know about trying to lead in a game right now. It's all new to him.
Thompson keeps it. First down and more. You see the athletic gifts. Gosh. I don't know whether that's great to see or very hard to see. Fitzgerald just wants to be on the field.
It shows you what type of teammate he is. Of course, overcome with emotion, but cheering his guys on from as close as he can possibly get to the field.
First down, that throw. A screen type play down to the 20. To Dedrick Thomas, the sophomore from Memphis.
As I said a second ago, though, it's really going to come down to this offensive line. They're one of the better groups in the SEC. They're big, they're physical. Keaton Thompson is a work in progress as a passer. They're not going to be able to do as much through the air. So that means they got to lean on some of these talented big boys up front.
Should still be able to run the ball. Not that time, though. Ole Miss crashed into the backfield and tackled Harris Williams right when he took the ball. That's Benito Jones, a very talented player on the inside.
Yeah, Benito Jones hasn't had a ton of opportunities this year. Really, in the last couple weeks, the light is starting to come on for him. Had such a huge season last year. You thought he was bound for stardom this season. Maybe taking a slight step back in production, but only a sophomore, still a lot of room to grow.
Feels like a big game for him. From this state, knows so much about this rivalry, all the expectations. Nice big time play. It's 3rd and 7. Thompson. Handoff, and again backwards, and again, guess who? Benito Jones. A high school player of the year in the state of Mississippi a couple of years ago.
Look at this. There's nobody deep in the middle of the field for Ole Miss. They know, even on 3rd and long, that Mississippi State is going to have to try to run the football. They're selling out completely against the run, knowing and forcing Keaton Thompson to try to throw it. They're daring him to take a shot downfield.
And this becomes a more challenging try. 44 yards, a little bit of a high snap. That kick, though, will bend back through. Had a little draw to it. And the redshirt freshman walk-on, Jace Crispin, who's had a nice year for the Bulldogs, gets the first 3 on the board for Mississippi State.
And a beautiful buttercut draw, just enough. And Mississippi State has stopped the bleeding, cutting the Rebel lead to 7.
Well, it is kind of a cool tradition. Members of the ROTC programs from both schools run the game ball from Oxford here to Starkville. That's a long jog. Just to kind of kick off the game unofficially.
I'm going to volunteer you for that job next year.
Next year?
You can make it?
Well, it might be less damaging than playing in our crew turkey bowl. Could be.
Think you'd feel the effects of both the next day.
First 3 points on the board for Mississippi State. And a kickoff into the end zone for a touchback.
I just remember Clemson against Syracuse earlier this year. They beat Syracuse in 2016, 54-0. They beat South Carolina last year 56-3, or right around there. So maybe as they go on the road, similar things could happen.
It is a possibility. South Carolina's had a nice year.
They really have. Will Muschamp should be on everybody's list for a potential SEC Coach of the Year award.
Dan Mullen, Nick Saban again. Gus Malzahn's done a nice job, but Will Muschamp may be as good as anybody with some injuries as well. 6 minutes to go until halftime. Tommo got to the corner, first down, and will duck out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Well, Jordan Tommo, the junior college transfer from Hawaii, who was not recruited much in high school, played for a Pearl City program that has produced some college football players. Went to the New Mexico Military Institute and wasn't even really highly recruited out of there, but came to Ole Miss, now getting a chance to play. Tommo took off real early. I don't know if that was a designed run or what. Timeout called by Ole Miss. That first down play could have gone better for the Rebels after coming up with a big turnover, trying to get points on the board. Near halftime, they lead 10-3. Thanksgiving, a holiday for being thankful for those you care about, your friends, your family, and we are a family with all of us who cover this sport for ESPN. Tommo, 2nd and 12. That one into coverage, incomplete. McLaurin, the safety, was there. 3rd and 12 coming up after the fumble, the turnover in Mississippi State territory. They are not in field goal range. Matt Luke and company, they need some more yardage.
Passing game for Ole Miss has been a little bit inconsistent when targeting anyone other than #1 A.J. Brown, who's been a featured player early.
3rd and 12. Tommo. Some pressure comes at last and a big hit. Man, the ball is out. Mississippi State thinks they have it. The two who got the sack, got the hit, didn't know that Tommo had fumbled, but Ole Miss comes up with the ball. I'm not sure who recovered. Simmons saying he has it. I mean, Simmons has the ball. I don't know whether they pointed the wrong way or what. He may not know he pointed the wrong way, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened there. That was a strange sequence of events.
They're winding the clock now.
Yeah, and you could see the ball clearly out. Look at
how is that not recovery for Simmons? He has the ball.
That's what it looks like to me.
I mean, they got to look at that. I don't know what possibly could have called that ruling.
Correction on the ruling on the field. Ball became loose and the defense fell on the ball.
Yeah.
First down, Mississippi.
Yeah, I think they just got confused in the communication because that one was clear.
Great job right here by number 40, Harold Thompson. See him slip inside. Wilkins doesn't even see him, who's in protection at running back. He jars that ball loose. Harold Thompson, filling in for the injured Des Harris, has had himself a heck of a first half.
Just a redshirt freshman. He's going to be a really good player for this team from Florence, Alabama. Now the question is, can Mississippi State, even getting the ball on this side of the field with all of their timeouts, can they make anything of that turnover? Well, they do put some time back on the clock. In fact, a good chunk of time.
With these 3 timeouts in their hip pocket, they don't have to get into pass first mode. If they want to run it, they can.
Mississippi State adjusts the defense at the snap. Thompson scrambling. Thompson, man, he's hard to get down, but he takes some hits, doesn't he?
A little quarterback draw. See if you can't get the 2-minute drive started.
56 seconds to go until halftime. 2nd and 5, Mississippi State with 2 timeouts remaining. Their true freshman quarterback, Keaton Thompson, with Fitzgerald out for the game with an ankle injury. 2nd and 5. Thompson pressured immediately. You don't want to take a sack. Will throw. It is incomplete. Incomplete. Mississippi State looking for the flag. Better than a sack. It's 3rd and 5.
A good job right there by Thompson, getting out of trouble, trying to give his receiver an opportunity to make a play. You can see his immaturity a little bit in the pocket. Right there, he actually drifted into some problems right into the back of his right tackle. Now he's going to have an opportunity here on 3rd and 5 to pick up something through the air, more than likely. But at halftime, he's going to have to settle down, and he's going to have to get on the same page with Dan Mullen, see what he's comfortable running in the passing game.
You need a first down and more for realistic field goal range. Pressure comes. Thompson trying to get away. Right at the line of scrimmage, gets dragged down. Thompson's going to be slow getting up. Speaks is having a big first half. It's 4th and 6. They are going to run a screen type play with some blocking. Williams trying to bounce it outside inside the 20 with 6 seconds on the clock. What a great play call by Mississippi State. That puts them in position to try for 3.
That is such a good play call by Dan Mullen.
I love it.
Such a good play call. He sees that there's going to be some opportunities, only rushing 3.
And Ole Miss, not to interrupt you, but Ole Miss, by calling that timeout with 15 seconds left, you allow them to do that. If you just let them wind it down, it's going to be a Hail Mary play, and your chances of getting points aren't great. They gave Mississippi State the chance to run a play, call timeout, and then presumably send the field goal team out there.
That's why it was just such a terrific play call. If you look at Ole Miss's defenders, they were way deep thinking that they were going to take a shot down the field. Instead, they say, hey, we'll just drop it right here to the running back, see what he can pick up with his legs, and see if we can't steal 3 before the end of half. Just really well executed by Mississippi State, and a real nice, timely play call by Dan Mullen.
And I do not get that from Ole Miss's perspective. The 37-yard try from that left hash mark. The kick is on its way, and it is good. The final play of the first half, and there's something positive for a Bulldogs team that you can understand, Greg, has been shocked for much of this first half with what happened to their quarterback.
They have rallied. Got down 10 early, responded well, got to find some answers at halftime.
Happy Thanksgiving to our friends back in studio. 10-6 Ole Miss now. Adnan and Jesse, take it away, guys. How about this scene in Starkville? Nick Fitzgerald, a gruesome ankle injury, took him out of this Egg Bowl early. He is now on the field with his crutches and trying to get his home fans fired up as Mississippi State needs to come from behind. We're just about ready to start the third quarter. 10-6 Ole Miss looking for an upset win here in this 114th Egg Bowl. The injury to Fitzgerald, of course, has completely changed this game, the strategy of the game, the feel here inside the stadium. And yet just a 4-point lead for Ole Miss after their great start in this one. Bulldogs looking for their 9th win of the season. And they will get the ball to start the second half. Ole Miss kicks it deep toward the goal line, but a little bit short. And a returnable kick for Mississippi State out across the 25-yard line. Well, Dave Fleming, Greg McElroy back with you here in Starkville. And the injury really did. It's hard to overstate what that changed about this rivalry game.
Yeah, it was huge. Nick Fitzgerald means so much to this team, so much to this community. And him going down early was a huge emotional blow to the entire sideline, the entire stadium, but he is going to give it all he has to lead from the sideline. Now his backup, Keaton Thompson, didn't get off to a great start. Bad throw early, but you can see some of the athleticism. He's got to dial in and be more accurate in the second half, but you can see the gifts that he has when it comes to being a good runner.
Well, Fitzgerald is out on the sideline with his teammates now. He also was on the phone or whatever from the locker room with this tweet he sent out just minutes ago. I'll be back stronger and better than ever. I love all my Hail State fam, and I want now is for you all to ring your bells as loud as you can and support this team. Showing some real toughness and leadership after a gruesome, all they're describing it is as an ankle injury to the star junior quarterback Nick Fitzgerald. Thompson, option style play, keeps it. Thompson across the 30 makes it third down and a little bit shorter. Let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
Yeah, guys, I'm told that Nick Fitzgerald during halftime was on his crutches, but they wanted to keep him away from the rest of the team so that nobody hurt him. Obviously, they're trying to keep him as safe as possible, didn't want him to get too hyped up. He didn't speak to the team, did not address them, but did spend some time with Keaton Thompson, giving him some advice for the second half. We'll see that, I'm sure, too, down on the sideline as well.
All right, thank you, Lauren. You can see him just beyond your shoulder. There he is with a 3rd and 4 coming up. First moments of this second half. Thompson with pressure coming, picked up by the running back. What a block by Williams, and that allows Thompson to get the first down. Wow, that is picking up the pressure from the running back spot.
That is big time. right there by Williams. You'll see the internal pressure. Look at him save a life. Taylor Polk thinks that he's unblocked. Think again.
He got blocked and then some.
Man, that's big time. Saving a hit on your quarterback. That's the stuff the NFL scouts love. Every great running back can run, but can they block, and are they willing to? Williams showing he's up to the task.
There's Williams. You figure he's going to have to carry a lot of the load. Thompson, play fake to him. There goes Thompson across midfield. Thompson hit from behind, but not before a big gain. 31 yards.
Just a great start to the second half so far for Mississippi State. Getting Thompson in the open field, doing what he is most comfortable doing. That's carrying it. Looking a little bit like Nick Fitzgerald there with the long strides.
And you do wonder whether halftime is going to really help Thompson in this offense. Handoff, Williams squirts through. Nice game. And that's not Williams. That's Kylan Hill, the true freshman from just up the road, Columbus, Mississippi. They think he's got a chance to be a really good one.
He's going to be really special. One of the highest rated recruits that Mississippi State has had. Very explosive and versatile. He's got an extremely bright future here in Starkville.
2nd and 1. He's had some nice runs in this game. Thompson faked it to him, kept it. That was a good decision in the end. First down inside the 25.
You hear this crowd starting to come alive. They're getting a glimpse right now of the future with true freshmen at both running back and at quarterback in the backfield.
Dan Mullen told us at halftime he is confident no matter what the final diagnosis is. Fitzgerald's going to be back and fine, but for now the offense is in this guy's hands. From New Orleans, Louisiana, huge Dak Prescott fan. As a high school player, one of the main reasons why he came here. A pitch on the option play. Another good decision by Thompson. Inside the 20, the big hit on Hill. Hill's giving him a nice spark on the ground. It's 2nd and 5. In case you're just wondering, the 3rd string quarterback, the guy who would be next up if something were to happen to Thompson, is Logan Burnett, who is a redshirt freshman walk-on who's never thrown a pass in a game. He's taken a couple snaps, but never thrown a pass. Play clock winding down. 2nd and 5. Another option, another pitch. Williams cuts it inside. Good pursuit from Breland Speaks. I've been really impressed with him tonight.
Breland Speaks could be his final game if he does in fact opt to go to the NFL. He's a 4th-year junior. He's good enough to potentially make that jump. At some point, though, this Mississippi State offense has to challenge this Ole Miss defense downfield. I know they're trying to run the ball. They're trying to establish the line of scrimmage. But Ole Miss is begging for a deep shot with how many guys they have up near the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 4. Thompson keeps with all of those bodies. The ball came out. He fumbles for the 2nd time. Ole Miss has the football. That is the 4th turnover for Mississippi State. They were in field goal range. A.J. Moore, the guy who finally fell on it. And the 2nd fumble from Keaton Thompson, the true freshman. One of the best teams in the country protecting the ball. With Fitzgerald out, that has not happened in this Egg Bowl. 4 turnovers for the Bulldogs. Stripped clean, played a little pinball, and there was A.J. Moore ready to recover. Rebels have the ball back when we come back. Here in the Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving night, Wilkins takes the handoff after another Mississippi State turnover. This was just moments ago, and in fact may be still going on. Thompson was even closer to Fitzgerald a couple minutes ago. They were talking after that fumble by the true freshman quarterback.
Yeah, and just got to hang in there. And Fitzgerald's got to tell Thompson, hey, look, we've turned it over 4 times. We're down by 4. We're in this. Our defense is keeping it close. We got to make some plays.
Play fake. Tommo in the pocket. Brown wide open. Caught. What a catch. A.J. Brown. Touchdown. There is a penalty flag, though. Back near the line of scrimmage. Wow. So that is on the defense, and the touchdown's going to stand. What a play. Tommo, and then especially on the receiving end, the kid from Starkville. Back in his hometown, breaking hearts. A.J. Brown having a monster Egg Bowl. 77 yards. Now think about that sequence. The turnover in field goal range, no points for Mississippi State. And then the second play of the drive. Why not get it to number 1? Extra point is up and good. And I do think part of what he was screaming at fans, or who knows, maybe some of his own supporters, I couldn't tell, was essentially, this is my city.
And here it is right here. He fakes like he's going in and then goes over the top. They hit this post route a little earlier in the game. Look at the subtle steps to the inside. Brandon Bryant there at safety has no chance in a one-on-one situation. And how about the catch? Full extension. I mean, you see him earlier in the game on the same route where he bends around that underneath defender. Right there, being patient enough to sell it to the inside to get the safety to bite, and then hitting it up over the top. Just a well-rounded player that can do it all for the Rebels.
More receiving yards than anybody in the SEC, more receiving touchdowns than anybody in the SEC, with that penalty that was accepted on the kickoff. Ole Miss would kick it off from midfield. Probably just booted in the end zone, but who knows? It has been a record-setting night for A.J. Brown. All-time single-season record in Ole Miss football history. Most receiving yards in a single year. And that one is in the end zone and a touchback. Thompson hands off, and Hill back in the game. That's good news for Mississippi State. Out to the 30 for a 5-yard run.
And I know they're going to try to run the football. That's what Mississippi State does. But at some point, they have to challenge this Rebel defense deep. The safeties for Ole Miss not respecting the pass at all.
They have moved the ball on the ground. Hill, not much running room this time. Maybe got a yard. It'll be 3rd down. Those big guys up front for Ole Miss, I know that rushing total is over 200 yards now for Mississippi State. I've been impressed with the way they played up front.
They've hung in there. A group that has really struggled over the course of the season. Played a little bit better here in the last few games. Big 3rd down right here for Mississippi State.
3rd and 4 with Fitzgerald in the game. This is where Mississippi State is so comfortable with Thompson. I don't know. Back to pass, in the pocket, throws, and zipped one in there to the biggest wide receiver in America. He fumbles. Another turnover. Jordan Thomas had the 1st down and more. That is the 5th turnover. That should have been a big gain and a huge play. Instead, more disappointment for the Bulldogs.
Man. Thomas.
Sideline warning, Ole Miss, their first of the game.
Running upfield, but how about Taylor Polt? Number 24, the senior playing his final football game for the Rebels. Getting in there and stripping that ball. It's amazing, this Ole Miss defense. Once such a proud defense, the Land Sharks. I know so much is made about what they've done on offense, but defensively they have struggled so much the last few years. And tonight, coming into the game, only 8 turnovers forced all year. And still with 21 minutes remaining in the game, they've forced 5 against what is a very good offense when it comes to protecting the football.
1st and 10, Tommo. Looking deep, he'll go deep, and this one is an adjustment and a catch. And a broken tackle for a touchdown. DK Metcalf. Oh my goodness. Been watching too much New York Giants. He gets a penalty flag for that one. That's not going to make them feel any better, though.
DK Metcalf, one of the biggest, tallest wide receivers in the SEC. Been quiet the last couple weeks. Finally emerges with a huge catch and run.
He's a little taller. He does physically look like his teammate A.J. Brown and how strong he looks. And he is talented in his own right.
He is big and physical. And has had a lot of opportunities. You remember the game-winning catch a little earlier this year against Kentucky, but he's a big-time player. So is this guy, Nick Fitzgerald, sidelined.
This is the SEC on ESPN. And Thursday Night College Football, you're on Thanksgiving as part of the Jiffy Lube Rivalry Series. A rivalry that has so much venom around it these days. And the Ole Miss players are living it up tonight. They got a huge break when Nick Fitzgerald went down with the injury, but they have played really well on the road with their season ending, all the stuff swirling around this Ole Miss program with the penalty on Metcalf after the gesture once he scored the touchdown. Should be good field position for Mississippi State, and it is good field position as quarter number 3 comes to an end. Now they're marching back to where the ball would be. Then they'll flip the field and go to the other side. It's been almost all Ole Miss on a heartbreaking night for Mississippi State. The Rebels are having fun in the Egg Bowl. They lead through 3, 24-6. In this rivalry, the cherished, the sacred Golden Egg Trophy nestled comfortably in between the old beat-up hot dog machine and the dirty, unwashed coffee pot. It's an interesting place to keep the trophy. Nobody will ever think of this. 24-6. Ole Miss having its way. Nick Fitzgerald early in this Egg Bowl with a gruesome ankle injury. No details other than that. He is on the sideline. But it has been a painful night for Mississippi State. Ole Miss at the end of a painful year, playing their best game. Thompson on first down. The true freshman to Thomas, who just discards the defender. Thomas still going. Who can tackle him? It took about 8 to get the 280-pound wide receiver finally to the ground. That was a tough 25 yards.
Yeah, he earned those yards. Getting Thomas back in the game. 280 pounds. Look how nimble he is at 280. Of course, he put the ball in the deck earlier, fumbling it after what would have been a pretty big play. They got to have him step up if they want to have any shot at getting back into this one.
Mississippi State. Thompson keeps it. This is the 4th time in this game they have started a drive in Ole Miss territory. Started a drive. And they have 6 points total. They've turned it over 5 times. They've run all those plays on this side of the field and almost nothing to show for it. They're outgaining Ole Miss overall. That is misleading.
You look at Mississippi State in general, though. I mean, they've had 22 more plays of offense than Ole Miss. Ole Miss has made the big plays, though. Obviously, turnovers by their defense, and then huge plays in the passing game. Big plays and turnovers, by far the biggest component to winning or losing college football games.
And Ole Miss is 2 for 2 in that regard. They're down at 2. Don Thompson gives the ball to Hill. Some tough running from another true freshman. True freshman to true freshman, Kylan Hill.
He's going to be a good one. I'm really looking forward to seeing this young man develop. He's so sudden, quick. I think he's got a chance to be the best back that Dan Mullen's had here at Starkville.
They've had some good ones. They'll get it again after not a great snap and exchange inside the 30.
Surprised to see them playing so slow right here. I mean, it's an 18-point game. It's certainly, with a score here, you're back in it potentially, or at least you have a chance at it. But methodical drive here right now with very little tempo by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean, you need 3 scores. Even if you're going for 2, you got to get 3 scores. That one caught by Thomas. That'll be a first down to the 20.
And you see the lineman just walking up to the line of scrimmage, too. I mean, not really a whole lot of urgency. Almost under 10. 3-score game. Got to understand the situation in the bigger picture.
Going a little quicker here, maybe. Pressure comes over the top. Incomplete. Thomas looking for the flag. No penalty. Hartsfield with the coverage.
There was some contact downfield. You can see Hartsfield. Yeah, his left arm's on the back of the jersey of Thomas, but that ball was thrown 3-4 yards out of bounds and well over the head of the 6'5" target.
Gates playing his final game in this Egg Bowl. Play fake, Thompson, wide open, caught, touchdown, Dedrick Thomas. Not over yet.
Ole Miss finally makes a mistake defensively, leaves Thomas completely uncovered. And Thompson isn't going to miss that one. Big play for the Bulldogs.
It took them 8 plays to go those 44 yards. Not quite 3 minutes. Still 9:16 on the clock. Still needing 2 more scores, but now down 24-13. Thanks to Neil and David for playing along. Onside kick coming. And it is recovered by Mississippi State. And I think it did just barely travel far enough. That looked to me like it was perfect execution. Cameron Dantzler, the defensive back, came up with it. Have to watch it again and see for sure.
Does the ball travel 10 yards?
And close.
Very close.
From that angle, it looks a little less certain.
The ruling on the field is that the kick was possessed by the kicking team prior to the ball going 10 yards. Therefore, that's a spot of illegal touching. The ball will be placed there, first down.
So they have ruled it was an illegal touch and not a legal recovery.
I think it's a good call, too.
I think so, too.
It looks like he's just short. Really good kick. And well executed. Surprised that Ole Miss was caught off guard.
How do you get caught off guard by that?
Correction, first down this way.
Tommo threw the pick last time, is going to run this time. And the Ole Miss offense now is not executing with the 24-13 lead, 9 minutes to go.
Trying to get the ground game going. This Ole Miss team, they're not great when it comes to melting the clock. Remember the big lead given up against Arkansas just a few weeks ago. They're not great running the football in a 4-minute offense situation to try to ice the game. Probably going to just run their offense and drop back and throw it.
The fumble on the exchange in that Arkansas game. There goes Wilkins. And that should just about do it. Straight up the middle. Doesn't get any more simple than that. He's over 100 yards. He's over 1,000 for the year. And Ole Miss is up to 30 against their rivals.
Right when we tell you that Ole Miss has had trouble putting opponents away, they put the nail in the coffin with just a simple, standard inside zone. And Wilkins takes it the distance. Huge exclamation point for what's been an outstanding night for the Rebels.
Extra point is good. Just when you thought maybe there was a chance, a disputed onside kick recovery, kind of a botched play on first down. Second down, handoff to number 22. And Jordan Wilkins did the rest. All the way to the end zone in the Egg Bowl. Rebels up 31-13. Back here on Thanksgiving night in Starkville. It's been a night for the Rebels, and I don't know if many people thought that would be the case. The kid from Starkville coming back home, and he has been talking some game on the sidelines. A.J. Brown having a huge night in his hometown for the rival school. Mississippi State will get it back. Todd out to the 30-yard line.
Making
Thompson will get sacked. Breland speaks again. Could be his final game. We don't know for sure. He's a fourth-year junior. He's played like an NFL prospect tonight.
I think it's safe to assume it's his final game. I mean, he has been absolutely unblockable. Working against Rankin right there, too. One of the better left tackles that you'll see in the SEC, and he just swims right inside and brings down Thompson. He's been unblockable for a majority of the night.
Kid from Jackson, Mississippi. More pressure. Forces an incompletion. There is a penalty flag on the field, in the backfield.
Holding. 55 offense. Penalties decline. Third down.
Matt Luke decides to decline the penalty. He hopes that he'll have a lot more decisions to make. An Ole Miss guy through and through, says it's his dream job to be the head coach. He is going to officially interview. He's had a season-long interview to try to make his case to be the full-time head coach. What do you think?
And it hasn't been without bumps.
It has not. Across the middle on third and very long. Good effort by Couch to get close. I assume they'll go for it on 4th and a yard and a half.
But I think if you look at the whole body of work for Matt Luke this season and understanding the circumstances surrounding the program, he's done a good job, especially tonight, getting these guys ready to play. Now, are the decisions throughout the week, have they been flawless? Not necessarily. Have they been flawless tonight? Calling timeout at the end of the half, not having your team aligned for an onside kick potentially. There are some things that he still needs to iron out for sure as a coach when it comes to situational football. But I think he deserves a heck of a look, especially knowing that he knows everything about this program, what to do, how to handle it, and how to lead these young men.
Thompson on first down after converting on 4th. Gets 9 yards on that scramble. Well, it would be impossible. I'm sure Matt Luke himself has thought about it. It's impossible not to kind of go back and think if you just hold that lead against Arkansas, you're 6-5 going for your 7th win. They played Texas A&M and in some ways outplayed the Aggies last week. Had a great chance to win that game. If they were finishing up an 8-4 year or something like that with everything that's going on around this program, that would be a pretty compelling case. But some of those types of things that you're talking about, some clock mismanagement moments, some lack of execution, you get blown out by Alabama where you just get wiped up by a very good team, but that was not a good look, presumably. Some of the things that are probably working against Matt Luke. Thompson into coverage, incomplete. Trying to hit Thomas.
Let's not lose sight, though, of the fact that Ole Miss over the last 5 years, they have made a commitment to football. Ross Bjork, the athletic director, has done a tremendous job increasing the budget. They were paying Hugh Freeze $5 million a year, so they're capable of bringing a top-tier coach to Oxford. So it's going to be a very difficult decision, I think, for Ross Bjork when determining his next head coach.
There goes Hill. Touchdown. You got to be careful here. The officials trying. I think there was, in the middle of all that, at least one flag thrown. Started with that hit on Hill in the end zone. He did some talking. The only thing that's gone wrong for Breland Speaks, that penalty against him. They are, looks like, going to go for 2 here with under 5 minutes to go. That would make it a, if they could convert, a 10-point game. Presumably they'd try another onside kick. Under center. That did not look right, but it helps when you're that athletic. They got the 2 points anyway. Ten-point game.
Mississippi State saying we will not go quietly into the night. Little 321 loop pass right. Keaton Thompson keeps it himself to keep the Bulldogs' hopes alive.
Thursday night college football on ESPN as part of the Jiffy Lube rivalry series. And 4:58 to go in the 114th Egg Bowl from Starkville. 31-21 Ole Miss. After the touchdown by Kylan Hill, Mississippi State will set up for an onside kick try again. They came real close last time. This time the hands team apparently is out there. This one hanging up in the air, and that was a smart play. Knocked out of bounds by DK Metcalf, who doesn't do anything without a little style at the end of it, even just bat a ball out of bounds.
Now granted, Nick Fitzgerald's health is important. He went down earlier tonight. Assume he's going to be back at full strength.
And off. Gain of a couple of yards. Mississippi State does have the 2 timeouts. And I have no doubt what Morris said is right. I mean, his focus was on this game. This is a guy who has been around a long time. There have been rumors about him for years and years. He's used to hearing about that, handling that.
His players are used to that. He said the leadership council comes to my office and we laugh about it. And if he's getting, if these rumors are out there circulating and he's getting some interest, that's because he's doing a heck of a job at the place he's currently at. So it's really it's a sign of respect for the job he's done.
And off again. This time a better gain for Ole Miss. Stopped a couple yards short.
Similar play that they just scored on. Had some pullers coming from the left-hand side, working to the right. And even though that one wasn't a long touchdown run, it was still pretty effective to give Ole Miss a 3rd and very manageable where they could run it or throw it if they so choose.
3rd and 9, handoff. That'll be stopped. So Ole Miss is going to have to punt the ball away. And they will use a timeout. I like this from Dan Mullen. Sometimes Dan does get criticized for clock management issues at the end of the game, sort of game planning at the end of the game. Every coach in a big time program gets criticized for that stuff at times, but it doesn't matter when you got to save the time, period. So when you use them, offense, defense, whatever, as long as you save the full 40 seconds, you've done your job. They have no timeouts left, but still 3:04 to go, down 10.
And they had to burn one a little earlier in the half when they had their offense on the field and the play clock winding down. Now they'd love to have that one back right now. Timeouts in the second half are like gold.
4th and 8. They don't get to this one and didn't really try much that time. Fair catch inside the 25. Now wait a minute, here come more penalty flags. Breland Speaks, he's already been called for one unsportsmanlike penalty.
The play was over. Personal foul. Number 9, kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the kick. This is number 9's second unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game. He is therefore disqualified.
Wow.
I mean, on a night for Breland Speaks that has been so special, why? To hit a player for Mississippi State right in the face. I mean, Breland Speaks has been sensational tonight, all over the field. the best player on the field potentially outside of maybe A.J. Brown, who's on the offensive side for the Rebels. I mean, he's had an incredible night, and yet he shows immaturity there at the end of the game. NFL scouts will evaluate that bad decision by the junior.
And off, running the ball, Harris Williams. Mississippi State's got to be very quick here, down 2 scores, under 3 with no timeouts. But they already know they got to score and get an onside kick to have a chance. Thompson throws that one with a couple blockers and out of bounds after the first down gain. Dedrick Thomas. Penalty also helped with field position. Gates has been banged up for a lot of this second half. Well, you could argue their 2 best defensive players now are not on the field. Low snap. Thompson got hit. It's incomplete. 2:22 on the clock. 2nd and 10.
Pretty impressed with the way Keaton Thompson's hung in there tonight. That jersey is dirty. He's taken a lot of hits, both running it and when he's dropped back. Some of the snaps have been inaccurate too. And man, he's battled. For a guy that hasn't really been on this stage before, he's really played hard.
2nd down, that throw again with some blockers set up along the sideline, out of bounds to stop the clock. Jesse Jackson with the catch and run. Thompson's up to 162 yards passing. He's got 119 rushing yards to support the point that you're making. He'll get the full bowl season to take the reps as the first string quarterback. In the pocket, across the middle, it's caught inside the 5. And Ole Miss fans everywhere are thinking this can't happen, can it?
What a great throw by Thompson. Here we are singing his praises, saying how well he's hung in there. Tell you what, that's a throw that Dak Prescott would be jealous of.
1st and goal. He'll keep it. Thompson trying to rush his way forward. Okay, you don't get it. You got to go. You already know you're going to have to get the onside kick. And just as I was saying, Ole Miss fans are thinking, we've seen this before. That Arkansas collapse was hard to watch. Handoff Williams, extra effort. He's stretched out. They say he's down. They call him down. That was close. That keeps the clock moving. That might be the kind of play you would look at, but Mississippi State's got to go so fast. They're going to get to the line and try to push it in. And did they? I thought they did. Clock's still running here. Nobody's made a signal. Finally, touchdown. Not over yet in the Egg Bowl.
See this surge. As a quarterback, that is genuinely my least favorite play in college football. the QB sneak on the 6-inch line. You know you're going to get hit. You know you're going to get pounded as you try to approach that pay dirt. But he nudged forward and kept the momentum going for a very, very interesting touchdown here late.
So they've already gotten a 2-point try. That means they can just kick the extra point here. Again, it's going to come down to an onside kick. They're going to have it with no timeouts remaining. But they have got a chance in this game. 31-27. Kick is good. You think some of those folks can make a U-turn? There are a lot of cars headed out of here. Never mind.
Never over till it's over.
I mean, you would never want to say, I missed the kick 6. I missed the play, Stanford Cal. If you left this, And something weird happens here. You might never forgive yourself. They got the hands team out on the field. Mississippi State has to have this one. They've had some practice. This one, another one of those straight ahead, right to the up man, recovered by Ole Miss, and that should do it. I'm with you. I don't know why they tried that style twice in a row. The more traditional onside kick style was close to working 2 different times.
I'm with you. Twice in a row. I guess they like their numbers. They say there's 3 guys for us inside the hash. They have 1. Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, that 1 was up to the task. Matt Luke elated.
What did Laura tell us his final words for his team in the locker room were before this Egg Bowl? Make this a night you'll never forget. Something like that.
Right.
He will never forget this night. An Ole Miss player, a kid who grew up in an Ole Miss household, and now the Ole Miss head coach is going to win the 114th Egg Bowl. And we do have to hang on here at the end and just hope that there's good sportsmanship at the end of this one. The athletic director and the head coach celebrating a win that will end this year for the Rebels. Cold night for that. Oh boy. He thought it was over, and it wasn't over.
I'm not sure you can ever get used to the Gatorade bat, that's for sure.
Got to snap it one more time. They do. Now some pushing. Handshakes, maybe we could just get everybody off the field. Ole Miss is going to run to that trophy as the final seconds tick off the clock. And look who's got it. The kid who grew up right here in Starkville, who had a huge game for the Bulldogs rivals. We'll see what happens with both of those head coaches, both of these programs in the days and weeks to come. But that, with everything that's gone on with this rivalry over the last 18 months, 2 years plus, that is a satisfying win for Ole Miss. And a heartbreaker of a night for Mississippi State. They will finish the regular year 8-4 and wait to see what happens in their bowl game assignment. Dan Mullen talking to the kicker like he's still doing some coaching about those last couple onside kicks. And so far so good in terms of keeping everybody calm. Let's go down with Matt Luke, Laura Rutledge.
Thanks, Dave. Coach, you grew up an Ole Miss fan, and now you've just won the Egg Bowl with your team. How would you describe the way that this team, in knowing they can't play a bowl game this year, won this one?
Well, hey, I'm just so happy. For you, coach. For you, coach. Love you, coach. Thank you. I love you too, man. Love you, coach. Hey, I'm just so happy for these guys. Hey, I'm happy for these seniors. Happy for these seniors. They went 3-1 against Mississippi State. They faced adversity and they fought it all year. I'm so proud of these guys.
You told them before this game, make this a night that they won't forget. What will you remember about this night?
Hey, I will remember this for the rest of my life. Hey, I'm so happy for our players and our fans. You know, it's going to be a good year in Mississippi.
I know you're enjoying this one right now, but you get a chance to interview to keep your dream job over the next few days. Why should you be Ole Miss's head coach?
Hey, I'm going to worry about that tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy this with my guys.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you, Hotty Toddy.
That is a big smile from Matt Luke. Thank you, Laura. He's held the trophy before, maybe never quite kissed it like that.
We love you, bro.
Obvious how much the players and the coach care about one another. Time to celebrate for Ole Miss. Greg, great to have you with us on Thanksgiving night.
Thanks for having me, guys. Great to be a part of this crew.
Dan Mullen and company try to get over the disappointment, and it was disappointing, that's for sure. For Laura Rutledge, for Greg McElroy, Dave Fleming saying so long. Ole Miss wins the Egg Bowl. Sports Center next. So long from Starkville.